Hi, I'm Andrea McLean. Welcome to The Agenda. And today we are talking all things midlife. And if this is you and you're thinking, yeah, I need to know a little bit more about how I get through this stage in life and come out the other side unscathed, then you are going to very much enjoy our conversation. Valerie Ritchie joins me today. Hi, Valerie.
Hello, Andrea.
Now, you call yourself a midlife empowerment coach,
Yes.
which is something that so many of us need. How did you get to a point where this is where you thought, this is what I need to do? There are women out there who need my services, and men too. How did you decide this is what I want to do?
Chaos.
Yeah.
Absolute
It's how we end up in most
chaos.
places, isn't
Yes.
it?
So, my own journey into midlife wasn't what a lot of people expect, because we don't know what midlife is or where it really starts. So my journey started at the age of 42. I had met my former husband and we decided, yeah, let's have a child. So I know my eggs at 42 weren't going to be the best, but you know, going in positive. Went to the doctors and the results was you're post-menopausal.
Not perimenopausal, post.
Post.
So it had been and happened and done, and you hadn't realised, or you
No
just
clue.
thought, okay.
Absolutely no clue. And in the same breath, she said, you could always adopt or foster.
So that was it. Your fertility journey, as you're going in thinking it's beginning, it's done.
Done. And it was the biggest slap in my face ever, because I was expecting a different result. You know, it's going to be hard, but not that it's over before it started. Plus, I was the only one in the family that didn't have children. This was an issue from when I was young, just based on a comment that my mother had said. So in my head, I was never going to have children anyway. But then I met my former husband and made a decision, and then it was taken away from me. And I automatically assumed, well, I brought this on myself.
Why did you assume that?
Because I decided, you said you didn't want children. You've told your body you didn't want children. And therefore, you know, what you say comes true. So it was that sort of chaotic occasion that, you know, came to me.
But there's also grieving as well.
Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things I believe menopause is about. There's that grieving process. The grieving part is about the fertility, the reproductive stage. You've passed it. And a lot of women look at that as that's the end of being a woman. Like we've been brought into the earth to just reproduce and that's it. But one of the things I found as I went along my journey is motherhood is more than just giving birth. My background is in education. I've been teaching for 3 decades, and the mothering side has come through in that. I'm also a fantastic auntie and a godmother. So the mothering side, I didn't actually miss out, but it took me a long time to realise that actually every woman does go through a mothering stage because it's a natural stage. We do have that nurturing side to us. And as part of what I talk about is the crone goddess.
Yes, I'm interested in this. Tell me what the crone goddess is.
So, you know, when we used to think about our grandmothers, and we looked up to the grandmother's been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, and she's looking at life in a completely different way. She's celebrating who she is. She's come to know exactly who she is. She's been through all those stages that we as women go through, and then she's come out the other end and she's like this wise, powerful woman that's living life with resilience and grace and harnessing her strength. That is what a crone goddess is. But the funny thing is, that crone stage can start a lot earlier than what we actually think it would start at.
Okay.
And you don't actually have to be a grandmother.
Sure,
either.
yeah.
But it's that stage in life where we step into our power. We become self-empowered again, because as women, because of the labels that we've gone through from childhood to a moment where we just look at ourselves and think, you know, there must be more to life than this. And one of the things I always say is there's more to life than menopause.
Yes, and that is a message that many, many women want to hear, because obviously the menopause is very much in the zeitgeist now, much more than it's been at any other time in our history, not just in our generation, but I think in our history.
Absolutely.
The word has gone from being something that brought so much shame, it was hugely misunderstood. Now it's a good thing that it is being spoken about,
Yes.
and you know, so openly, and men are educating themselves as well in terms of what does this involve, which is quite blooming right, because it's half the population of the entire
Yes.
planet that will get to a certain age and experience this. When you do your work in terms of a midlife empowerment coach, what does that mean? How does that show itself?
So for instance, when I get a woman that comes to me, she might talk about certain things that she believes is a problem. But a lot of the times it goes actually deeper than that. It's about their self-worth, actually understanding who they are and accepting that they are the person they are now, and loving that person. So one of the things, say for instance, women might stand in front of the mirror, they get up in the morning, they look in the mirror, and the first thing they do is go, ugh. And then the rest of the day is based on that, ugh. But why are we doing that? Why are we looking in the mirror and seeing something that we think is a negative? We should be looking in the mirror and looking and accepting exactly who we are and loving it.
And how do you do that? Because, you know, I know stuff, and I'm sitting here going, guilty. Yeah, we've all done that. So what do you say to the people that you coach in terms of when your brain automatically does that thing? It looks in the mirror, has a negative thought. How do you flip that? Because you have to do it quickly. You have to catch yourself.
Yes, you do. You have to. You know, I always say, why not just roll out of bed, walk past the mirror, look into your own eyes, and says, yeah, you've got this. And then just move away from the mirror, because you don't have to stand in front of the mirror for a prolonged amount of time. It's just that instant thing where you just think eye contact to eye contact and say, I've got this, or I love you, I accept it, I'm worthy, and just walk away and start your day. And that is an instant thing. Another thing I would suggest is, you know, when you're having that morning shower, dance in the shower, naked as you are, because when the water hits the body, hits the skin, and it feels good.
I'm just thinking my shower's really small. I've been knocking everything over.
Arms up.
It would have to be literally big box, little box in my shower, or there'd be things careering around.
Yeah.
I want to pick up on something you said when you said look into the mirror and say I love you. Would you say that is the most challenging aspect of your coaching that you found with the women that you deal with?
Yes. A lot of women can't actually do that.
Yeah.
And one of the activities I get them to do is actually look into their own eyes and keep looking, because obviously they'll start going all the way around.
Yeah.
But it's like look into your own eyes and talk to yourself. Hear your own voice. Tell me who you see and use your name. So it'd be like, Andrea, I love my brown eyes. Andrea, I love the way I smile. That sort of thing. You're actually talking to yourself, so you're getting used to hearing your voice talk to yourself. And it's a very deep experience, because looking into your own eyes is hard, because it's basically the windows of your soul, as they say. And getting you to stand in front of the mirror and concentrate and do that, it can be actually quite emotional. It brings up a lot, because you've got to think about all the things that have come before you're standing in front of the mirror, and this might be the first time you actually stand in front of that mirror and say, I love you.
It's a powerful moment as well, and
Absolutely.
when you do get to the point where you can look into your own eyes and say, I love you, in the way that you would to a friend that you care about, and you want them to see all the beautiful things that you can see, but somehow weirdly we can't see in ourselves. It's a powerful moment. Just before we finish, I'm curious in terms of how men react to when you're when women come to see you and they have this shift in perspective in terms of, okay, I am going through this period of change, it's a transitional time, and I'm now feeling comfortable and stepping into the power of where I am now. Clearly that affects the power dynamic within many relationships with
Absolutely.
not all men are able to come along for that journey unless they themselves are willing to put themselves through some kind of process. What do you say to women who are experiencing that?
I would say the very first thing is you've actually got to think about yourself first. You've got to appreciate that you come first. And a woman that actually loves herself, appreciates herself, knows herself, will always have a ripple effect on everybody around. That might change things up, but that change might need to happen.
Yeah.
And for those along the ride, they can ride it with you, or maybe not. But a woman has to think, I put myself first. This is my time and I come first, because everybody else will benefit at the end of the day.
Love it. Valerie, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. It's been wonderful.
Thank you.